Holy friends, I'm here by the Holy Tzaddik, Rabbi Yamin, who was a Tana from the Gemara, and I wanted to speak over to you a few words of Torah and encouragement here at this holy site. My friends, I want to speak to you a little bit about Shalom Bayis. Shalom Bayis is something which is of extreme importance to Klal Yisrael. The Bayis, the house, is a place which the Shekhinah, which the divine presence rests when there is Shalom, when there is peace. And peace brings Kedusha, brings holiness to the atmosphere, to the entire family. And it's important to strive for this peacefulness. And once the Shekhinah enters into the home from this peacefulness, from this Shalom, there's bracha, there's blessing. But when there is anger, when there is not peace in the home, there is Eish, there is fire, a fire which destroys the soul, destroys the hearts of people. And so what are the ways that we can work on Shalom Bayis? My friends, it's important that we're patient, that we listen to our spouses and our partners, what they have to say. It's important that a person has a selflessness. A person goes into marriage wanting to take, wanting to receive, and not with the aspect of giving. Then there's friction. When people are selflessness, when they have selflessness and they're constantly giving, when each partner is giving and thinking that and understanding that giving is the most important thing in a marriage, in any relationship between any human being. When they both start to give, then you have a shalom, you have a peacefulness. And people get into bad habits as they get older, and it's very hard to break certain midos, character traits, being messy, the way a person cleans up after themselves, or a simple thing is just bad habits. And so it's important for the spouse to be patient with the person. And when you marry a person, when you're living with a person, you can't sit there and push them to change. You have to be accepting. You have to be accepting, and you have to let the person grow as they need. One of the things a terrible thing that causes a lot of friction in marriage is outside interference. When a person talks over with their friend intimate details about their relationship with their spouse, this can be a detrimental thing. It spreads from one person to the next, and the person has to seek the proper advice from rabbinical sources, from people who have understanding, who have experience, and not to get family involved. Once family is involved, you have a couple, but you have family that is emotionally attached to one side, and they usually are too close to that family member, and they start to give wrongful advice, and they start to interfere, and a little thing that can be very simple becomes a very large, big deal that shouldn't be. Forget the English expression, a mountain of a molehill. I don't know. One little thing that could be just a small thing solved between the couple, and that even one little someone from the outside could have easily given advice to. Once family is involved, this becomes a tremendous ordeal that should have never taken place, and this many times ends up in divorce, ends up in a terrible situation when it didn't have to be. It was something very simple. So it's very important to keep family out of the relationship. It's important, and when people have to realize that the children are what brings shalom to the house. When the husband and wife have one goal, a goal of Torah and Yiddishkeit in the household, when they have the goal of this child, to nurture it and to raise it in the ways of Hashem, when they focus on this child together, this brings the Shekhinah, this brings the closeness. Some people say that there can't really be a true shalom until the couple has a child, that they can together, that they're raising it and it's bringing them at the same time much closer. And so it's important to understand that when you're giving, which we spoke about before, that the most important thing about a marriage is giving. When you're giving, it has to be done and with a true heart, with all your heart. It can't be done for show, because the soul, the neshama, the soul knows that it's not real. So you have to give with all your heart, because you know you should give, because you're a giving person, and that should be with all your relationships in life. You know, I meet people and they don't feel complete, they feel empty in their life, in their Yiddishkeit. Something is missing. That's not the thing that is missing, is they're not doing enough chesed with all their heart. They're not involved in enough activities outside themselves. And so therefore they're focused on their problems, and they become depressed in their own world and their own suffering. When a person takes themselves out of themselves, out of their being, they start to be a giving person, then the whole world becomes open to them, and they'll see naturally that people will give back, but they shouldn't do it for that reason. I wish you all that you should find Shalom in all your life, and there should be peace within your home, and the divine presence should rest with great holiness and merit. You should have a Bayis name of Israel. All the best, my friends. L'zchus of the Holy Tana, The greatest peace, Rav Shlomo Carlebach says, is a peace between opposites, between two people that are different. They come together. This is the greatest shalom. This is what peace is all about.